Hey guys, how are you? Hope you're doing good. Let me take this off. All right, awesome. Got a kind of a different setup here tonight, but working to make this work, obviously. Um, Figuring it out. I have to make some adjustments, that kind of thing. Um, I had a New York Giants hat on earlier, but after the football game on Sunday night, I figured I was not prepared to take the whomping that Daniel Jones and the New York Giants took. So I took the hat off. Drinking a quick cup of coffee. I started a little early, went live a couple minutes early, but that's all right. Not sure who's going to jump on or whatnot, but just figured I would pop in, kind of talk about my schedule here for the next several weeks. I do have a live scheduled for the remaining Wednesdays this month. So I think that's, let's see, what is it? Next Wednesday and the following Wednesday. So I have two lives scheduled there. The Wednesday after that, I'm not going to be live. Um, and then the following Wednesday after that, we're actually going to have a guest on. And I mean, honestly, I'd like to have guests on whenever. As you can see, I have the StreamYard link pinned there, and if you want to join me, I'd love to have you up. But do me a favor, if you are going to come on, make sure your camera's on so I can see who you are, make sure I know you, that kind of thing, and then from there. If you want to shut your camera off before I bring you on, that's totally fine with me. But it's just kind of a security thing for all of us. But yeah, so October 11th, I'm going to be having the Intentional Carnivore on. And boy, does he have an incredible story for his journey. And really, you all are going to benefit from me getting to ask him a bunch of questions to help me on my journey. And so I'm gonna go over, try and make a list of great questions between Mrs. Hartman Maid and I for Sean White, the Intentional Carnivore, and hoping to have a really great show. Then, honestly, I'm super looking forward to that. But yeah, so I don't have anybody in here right now, and that's okay. It's not that accurate though because I'm watching on my YouTube screen right now and it doesn't show me as a watcher. So it's all good. Anyways, the title of tonight's video or tonight's live, it actually kind of goes hand in hand with, I think, next week's live. No, the following week's live. The 27th is going to be really just kind of going through my journey and talking back and forth and whatnot. Next week is how can I help you? And obviously really, I got one message from, I got an email from someone last week and kind of did a little back and forth. I would love to have them come join me on stream or even hang out before the stream to talk in StreamYard live. I'm totally open to do that as well. If you're someone that's not comfortable coming on YouTube, there's Danny. No problem, my man, no problem. As you can see, I have switched the camera angle. I have a different amount of inventory, reselling stuff behind me and whatnot. But I'm going to work on kind of tidying some of that up and getting the whole setup just a little bit different for next week and the weeks to come. But yeah, excited about having that. But really, I guess tonight was just, my plan was to be talking about, how did carnivore or eating carnivore, going on the carnivore diet, which is no sugar, no carbs, and just eating meat. So if it's an animal or it came from an animal, it counts. So like a vegan is someone who doesn't eat anything that is an animal, was an animal, or came from an animal. and I eat everything they don't eat, but nothing processed, with additives and carbs and sugars or fake sugars, none of that. Um, so, kind of getting into the how it helped me. I mean, I really should have bulleted it better, and had that. But honestly, we're gonna get a lot more into that in the my story or my journey live. But first and foremost, what it did for me was it gave me direction. Um, it gave me direction. Um, you know, I don't know about you watching this, but I have been a fat guy my entire life. Like I was wearing Husky as a little kid, and I thought it was cool because my pants had a dog name, after the number. Like, yeah, Huskies. Like, you don't have Huskies, I got Huskies. Like, thinking that's awesome, but really, what it meant, it should have said Fatty, uh, or something like that. It wouldn't have been as cool. Um, but I've been a big boy my entire life, and a lot of it was I did not have direction. My parents were wonderful to me, and they provided for everything I needed, but they also gave me a lot of what I wanted. And so a lot of what I wanted was consumable. Um, and so I didn't grow up in a gymnastic home background. I didn't grow up in an athletic family. Um, and I mean I did wrestling in school and stuff like that, but I really was not, just loving physical fitness kind of thing. Um, and so I struggled most of my life with direction when it came to this. I was talking to somebody. I think I was talking to Mrs. Hartman Maid and one of my friends, Big John. And Big John didn't get his name because he's underweight. Much you don't generally get a name like Big John unless you're in the Fat Boy Club too. And so he's on his own weight loss journey. I'm super proud of how far he's coming already, and where he's going ahead. And going to do whatever I can to help him stay focused. But he mentioned about how when he was at the doctor's the last time, he had asked about dietary guidance, and I said I remember a point. I just got a little coffee on my glasses, I think. Goodness gracious. I remember a point when I was uh, in my late teens, early 20s, and was, going to take this thing seriously. At one point, I went on this diet that, basically, if you wanted to join the military but you were overweight, the recruiters gave you this eating plan. And I went on that eating plan, and I never thought that I was going to get to the point of being accepted into the military because of how overweight I was. I mean, the reality is I'm wearing smaller pants today than I wore in high school, and I'm still a big boy. um, so but it was 9/11 happened when I was 19 years old, and so patriotism rang through, and so I was looking to lose weight, and I went with this diet that was provided by the military recruiter. And so that worked for me for about a week, and the food that they had you eating was just disgusting. Like, it was like the weirdest. The only thing I can remember, like the thing I remember most was eating just a can of tuna fish with nothing in it. And they said you could put mustard on it if you want, and I was like, mustard on tuna fish? Like, I just remember for probably 3 years after that week, I did not eat tuna fish at all because it was just disgusting to me. But after that, so I was at that point where um, that recruiter diet just wasn't going to work for me. So I talked to my doctor, and they sent me to see a dietitian. And the dietitian made me feel like a child. Because so I went out to this one hospital, which is kind of, so I grew up in kind of like Podunk, USA, and so it was a bit of a ways from my house. And when I got there, they pulled this little cart out, and they had these drawers in it. It's like one of those like organizer things. Anytime picker, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for stopping in. Um, and so inside of this cart was essentially like children's play food. And they're like, you can have this, and it's like this little portion of fake peas or something. And by the way, I before I was carnivore, I didn't eat peas. They're disgusting. But that's for another conversation. But anyways, they're showing me all these like this children's play food. Hey Donna, good to see you. um and I just remember feeling like so juvenile, that they were relating, trying to teach me how to eat right by showing me kids' toys. You know what I mean? I know, I know one thing: eating is bad anyway. um, and so I decided that, I really was kind of at that point. I think I kind of just gave up on my like, okay, I need some help kind of thing. And I just was, I'll figure this out as I go. Um, and so the carnivore diet, going on the carnivore diet gave me direction because it was easy for me to understand, and it clearly defined rules, and it told me why the rules would work. Something just fell back there. Um, we have a puppy, and I don't know if he's getting into trouble or not, but something just fell back there. We have baby gates all over our house now. Anyways, and so now as far as the going on the carnivore diet, it helped me because, again, it gave me that direction. That's the first thing. It gave me rules to play by, um, and it showed me very quickly, if I follow the rules, I see results. I see positive results. And so when I started it, I was taking, at that point, I was taking, um, my YouTube package was delivered. That might have been what the noise was. My Amazon package. Sorry, brain fart. So when I started the carnivore diet, I was taking, 42 units of insulin a day. Um, and originally I started on 6, and I had to go up 6 units every week until my, fasting blood glucose was 140 or lower, which is still too high. But at that point, I could level out. And so here I am at 42 units of insulin, and I'm still at 144, um, blood glucose when I wake up in the morning after fasting for at least 12 hours. So it was just what I was doing wasn't working. And at that point, I was watching what I was eating. I was trying to eat more keto, that kind of thing. And so, I got placed on the carnivore diet, and they told me, if you follow the rules, I eat only ice cream all day. That will kill you, my friend. Um, but if if you follow these rules, it will fix them. And at some point, you're going to be overdosing on your insulin. And I found that the first week I went on the carnivore diet and I started eating that way, the first entire week, within those 7 days, my blood glucose dropped to 33. And I, I at that point was then reduced. I reduced my, um, fast, or what do they call that, lantus or insulin, essentially. um, I was reduced drastically, um, and within 5 weeks I was taken off of it altogether. So eating this way, how did the carnivore diet help me? Eating this way, um, it gave me instructions. Um, it gave me a game plan. It showed me a path, a roadmap, essentially, that I could easily follow and see the destination or checkpoints along the way. So that was a huge thing for me, going on that carnivore diet. Y'all feel free to jump on here if you want. I have this pinned. Um, not going to stay on terribly long, probably about another 15 minutes. Um, but so that really helped me. It also helped me because it took away guesswork. So many times you're like reading labels and stuff, and I find that I have to read labels if I'm gonna eat like a packaged meat product, because a carnivore diet, like I said, is it either was an animal or it came from an animal. And so most of that, there's no nutrition facts that are come on the package. A chicken does not have that tattooed on it on the ribeye. There is no ingredients list in most cases. But when you purchase things, like one a go to snack or a small meal for me, I get at Trader Joe's, and it is these pre-made, pre-packaged chicken meatballs. And so something like that, I have to look at the ingredients to see, um, is this does this have no carbs? Does this have no sugar? Because most meatballs have breadcrumbs or something like that in them, and that's just against my goals, right? It's counterproductive. And as far as true carnivore, they're not true carnivore because it has garlic in it. It has some seasonings and whatnot. And so it's kind of like dirty carnivore, but it's a in my on my journey, it's an acceptable choice. But I have to read those ingredients. But the majority of things that I eat, I don't have to spend all kinds of time reading ingredients because it's fresh or frozen meat. It's eggs. It's certain cheeses. But cheese is not a weight loss food, guys. Dairy is sometimes counterproductive to weight loss, and so I've had to adjust that, and I have to adjust that some more. So eating ice cream all day is just not going to get me to my goals. It's not going to help me at all. Um, but so what I was getting at though is, so carnivore gave me a direction, but it took away the guesswork by going on the carnivore diet. It helped me so that I didn't have to say, you know, can I have this? Can I not have this? A lot of times I eat a lot of the same things, and some people hate that, right? Some people are very much someone that needs a lot of variety, needs a lot of change. And I remember when I first started the carnivore diet that first year, as we're getting the holidays, I'm scratching my head thinking, like, what am I going to eat? And a lot of times you're going over to a family's house, and I don't want to be the family member that just sits there and watches everybody eat, because you generally don't become a fat guy by watching everybody else eat. You're generally participating, and so that's no fun, right? And so I was trying to figure out what I could have for Thanksgiving, and my favorite thing for Thanksgiving has always been the way my father made cornbread stuffing, or dressing, some people call it, right? With sausage in it, and peppers and onions, and just all the sage, all the goodness. And I found a carnivore um, stuffing recipe, and you essentially make this meat loaf. It's not meatloaf, but it comes out. It looks like a oh, it's so good, Donna, isn't it? It comes out. You basically turn this ground meat and um, egg whites and broth and pork rinds and everything. You turn it into this dough consistency, and you bake it, and it turns into a loaf, and then you cut it up, um, and you make your stuffing or dressing. Stuffing. I call it stuffing. I don't know. I'm not that formal. I don't generally, that kind of thing. But it tastes just like the stuff my father used to make. And so for me, that Thanksgiving thing, I needed that. And And it's funny because I took that to the families for Thanksgiving, and my stuffing was gone um, when the meal was over, and there was so much left of the other one because mine was a hit, and it was delicious, and so but for the most part, I could eat the same thing every day. Um, you know, sorry, I had hair or something. Anyways, I'm back. Um, so I like for breakfast, I eat eggs the same way every morning. I eat bacon, and once in a while I switch it up and have like a sausage patties, or steak or something. Like, but I can eat that every day. I don't need pancakes. I don't need uh, muffins, cinnamon roll. I don't need any of that. Like, it's just I've gotten myself to the point where I don't need to have the variety, and so Carnivore took the guesswork out because I know for breakfast I'm gonna have, you know, eggs for breakfast. I'm gonna make bacon, and then I'm gonna use the grease from the bacon to cook the eggs in. That's just it's easy. It's no guesswork. I I take care of my neighbor next door. I point over there because his house is over there. Um, you don't really need to know that, but I take care of my neighbor. I go over every morning. I'm generally there around 7:30, and I give him his medicine and I make his breakfast. And I know, 99% bacon is good all the time, bro. There's never a sometime. Bacon is wonderful. um, and so I know he's either gonna eat blueberry Eggo waffles or scrambled eggs. And I know when he's gonna eat it because I made him scrambled eggs this morning, so tomorrow he'll eat blueberry Eggo waffles. The only time that changes is if the meal delivery that comes for his lunch brings him something he can't eat and he has nothing else. He might eat scrambled eggs or waffles for lunch. And so, if that's the case, like today he had scrambled eggs. If he had something for lunch that he couldn't eat, he would eat waffles for lunch, and then tomorrow morning, he would tell me to make him eggs over, which just means over hard. Um, and so that cycle. Sorry, I'm back. I don't know what just happened there. Um, but so that'll goof that up. But for he takes the guesswork out, but it's because he can't digest food anymore. He's 89 years old, and he doesn't he's not healthy. Um, and so um, but most normal people, when you say, "What do you want for breakfast?" Your options are endless, and when you don't have a plan or you don't have guidelines, you could have cereal for breakfast, you could go get a breakfast sandwich, you could stop and get some donuts, you could, like, all of these things, and so you're going to wake up and you're going to question. For me, that's what got me in trouble. So I needed something to take the guesswork out. By going on the carnivore diet, I knew I could this is what I can have for breakfast. And I've learned that if I'm going to be out in the morning, if I need to go somewhere, um, I know where I can grab something to eat that will fit within my parameters. I don't even want to call them restrictions because they're not restrictions. They're parameters that I set for myself. But I know where I can go to get that, and I know where I can go to get it for the best price because eating at home is so much cheaper. Oh my goodness. I can go buy a box or a pound of ground beef. We'll say a pound of ground beef, which will make me say four hamburgers, quarter pounders, right? Um, for like I think the organic stuff is like say $7 a pound. We'll just say $7. I can't even go get a quarter pounder from McDonald's for $7, and theirs is 100% all beef. That's what they advertise, right? Two all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, onions, pickles, on a sesame seed bun, right? They advertise it as all beef, and but I can't go get a quarter pounder from McDonald's for $7, but I can make four quarter pounders at home for essentially $7 with organic beef. If you're getting the non-organic pink slime stuff, you can do it a lot cheaper. Um, so uh, so it gave me direction. It took out the guesswork, and for the first time in my life, it gave me consistent results. Consistent results. Um, and so those are just a few ways the carnivore diet helped me. It's been amazing. I would love to hear from you all on what's working for you and why it's working for you. And I know everybody's not going to be on the carnivore diet, but that's the path I've chosen, and it's worked for me. um, for sure, when I was trying to lose weight, having a structured plan surely helped than relearning portions. Now just eating to hunger is so much more natural. Right. I have the problem of making too much food now, because I'm still like making food with a fat guy's mentality because I'm still a fat guy, but like I just don't eat the same. And so, I end up and I got this food and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna eat like a quarter of this. So fortunately it's generally stuff that either the dogs can eat, I can feed Mrs. Hartman made, or can be reheated and I can eat it later. But yeah, so that's that's really kind of the path, like I said, that I'm on. Next week we'll talk a little bit about how can I help you, what can I do to support you, how can I be there for you, um, and then the following week we're really going to kind of go start to finish and talk about my story up to this point. I would love to hear your stories. um, the week after that I will not be on. I will be away. There we go. I walk at least 3 miles every other day. That's awesome. That's awesome. I was talking to Danny, and a lot of Danny Piqua resellers weight loss started before he even changed his diet by walking, and activity. Um, so and then the following week, I'm going to have the intentional carnivore, Sean White, on. Uh, this man literally transformed his body, lost well over 200 pounds in 7 months. And I'm excited to have him on. So, guys, I really appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with me. Um, I love y'all, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Talk to you soon.